Hey friends, welcome back to my channel, Lore and Lullabies. I'm Lana. Today I am doing my June TBR for Olympics Readathon. I'm so excited about this readathon. It is being hosted on the Shelf Space Discord. If you are not part of that, I highly suggest that you go and do so. It is an amazing community with amazing people, and if you're not on it, you're missing out. The Olympics Readathon is a team-based readathon with 16 teams. Yes, that's right, 16 teams. Each of the teams is a god or deity in Greek mythology. For every prompt that you read, you can get points. If you complete a prompt that is worth 30 points, if it happens to be your team prompt, so for example, I've chosen Nyx. When I read a prompt for Nyx, I will get double the points. You also get points for leaving reviews and also reading any book outside of those prompts as well. The trash talking has already begun, and I can already tell there are some competitive people in this Discord, in this readathon. So far, Zeus's team is doing most of the trash talking, but we'll just let our reading and our points speak for themselves. My TBR for this readathon is quite large. I have sort of a tiered system with it. I have the need to reads, which are my book club and buddy reads. Then I have the would like to read, which are mostly library books that are due to go back this month. And then the third tier is the would be really nice to read tier. Naturally, the first prompt is Zeus, and that is to read a book with a kingdom or patriarchy. I will be reading The Stolen Kingdom by Bethany Atazadeh. This is a YA retelling of Aladdin, I believe. It's also the June read for the Space Sirens book club. I'm really looking forward to getting together at the end of the month and seeing what everyone thinks of this one. There's been a lot of hype about it on social media. I think I'm going to like it. Yeah, I'm really excited to see what everyone else thinks. Second, we have Poseidon, and that is to read a book that features water. For this prompt, I will be reading A Song Below Water by Bethany C. Marrow. This is a YA fantasy of black sirens, friendship, and self-discovery, whilst facing racism and sexism. I'm really hoping to get to this one this month. Next we have Hades, and that is to read a book that features the undead or ghost theme. I am reading The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue by V.E. Schwab. I have heard so many good things about this. It is set in 1714 France originally, where Addie LaRue makes a deal with the devil essentially so that she can live forever. Her wish is granted, however, no one will remember her until someone does. This is one of my really want to read books. It's already due at the library, so this will be one of my first reads of the month. Next we have Hestia. I did need to Google for this prompt, but it actually works out perfectly because I'm doing a buddy read of Sorcery of Thorns by Margaret Rogerson. This is going to be a buddy read with my friend Mel over at a book fiend named Mel. I don't know a lot about this. There's something to do with a magical library. That's all I need to know, really. The next prompt is HEPHAESTUS, and it wouldn't be a HEPHAESTUS prompt without fire on the cover. I will be reading Cemetery Boys by Aidan Thomas. I have not read any Aidan Thomas before, but I hear amazing things, so I don't actually know a lot about this other than having something to do with cemeteries. And though you may not be able to see fire on the cover, if you look really closely, you can see the little flames at the bottom. So it counts. DIONYSUS is next, and that is to read a book with red or white on the cover. I'm really excited to read this one for the Shelf Space read along for this month. That is Dark Matter by Blake Crouch. I've wanted to read it ever since I read Recursion in January. I absolutely loved it. That was the first 5-star read of the year for me. I'm really excited to be reading along with this with Leslie, who is hosting it. Leslie is one of my favorite people, so Yay! And she's the one that actually introduced me to recursion a year ago, so very, very excited. Yay! For Hermes, we are to read a book that features travel, vacation, or a quest. For this one, I will be reading Katana of Trust by A.C. Ward. This is an e-arc that I have been given. I really want to get to it this month. It is a fantasy YA based off feuding Japan. I'm really excited to read this. I think there's a bit of romance in there as well, but they have a big quest that they need to do. I can't really remember a lot else about it because I'm filming with my phone because my camera is just frustrating me. So yeah. Also, the title caught my eye because about a decade ago I was obsessed with katanas and had like 15 of them in my house, so I couldn't not get it. For Artemis, we need to read a book with night or moon in the title or on the cover. I will be reading Nightwalker by Aaron L. Spear. This is one of the book club picks for the Babe Book Club that I run over on Facebook. It is an urban fantasy that has vampires in Sydney, Australia. I'm just really excited to see what he does with that. Apollo's prompt is to read mixed media. I will be reading Attack on Titan by Isayama Hajime. I think that's the order in which you say it and kind of the way you pronounce it. I'm really sorry if I've butchered it. Manga is still pretty new to me. My son has seen an episode of this. He was in trouble afterward, but he said that it was really good and something that he thinks that I would like. Aries could only be a military-centered fantasy or sci-fi. And for this one, I will be reading An Ember in the Ashes. This is, again, a would like to get to it. This will be the second time I've hired it out from the library. It is one that I really want to read, but because I have such massive TBRs, I always just run out of month. Would really, really like to get to this one this month. Hopefully, fingers crossed. Aphrodite's prompt is to read a book with a beautiful cover. I couldn't go past this cover. It is Once and Future Witches by Alex E. Harrow. It is just gorgeous. So much beauty on this cover. I can't get over it. And I've also heard really, really good things about it. It is about the witches of New Salem, or about to be witches, something like that. Marlene, I believe, read this in May and she said it was really good and that it also made her cry. I think Nick might have read it too. I'm not sure, I can't remember. I'll put their details down below if you want to go check them out. I'm a crier and I love a book that makes me cry. If a book can make me cry, it adds like half a star that I'm that into it.
I assume, my lord, you're here to bend the knee.
The prompt for Hera is to read a book with a queendom or matriarchy. For this, I'm so excited to read Voice of War by Zach Argyle. This is the read-along book for the self-published Inn, which is also on Discord. I'll drop the link below. The main reason I want to read it is because of the magic system. From what I hear, it has a very good magic system that involves colours, and I'm just super excited to read it. Demeter was a hard one for me. That was to read a book with food on the cover. And for me, I had to go with Fire on High. I can't remember who this is by. Again, all of the details are in my phone, but it's about a Dominican American woman who has quite a lot on her plate. I believe she had a child senior year of high school. So she has all of these pressures of trying to make all of the best decisions for herself and for her family. And the only time that she really feels like she can relax and let go is when she's cooking, and I absolutely love that. I was a teen mom, so I instantly connected to that, and you never see that in books. And so that really caught my eye, and that her passion revolves around food. I thought that was really cool as well, because all of my favorite memories have food in them somewhere. So I really want to read this book. Again, it is on my would be really nice to, but I will get around to reading it this year sometime. Athena's prompt is to read a book with political intrigue. I obviously could not go past Malice by John Gwynne. A lot of other people in the readathon are reading this as well. This has been on my radar for so long. I would love to finally get around to it this month. We'll see how we go. If you don't know what it's about, I don't really either, but Leslie talks a lot about it on her channel. It's one of her favorite series of all time, so definitely go check out her videos on the Faithful and the Fallen series. The prompt for EOS is to read the first book in a series or duology. For this, I will be trying to smash down my NetGalley stack, and that will be to read Odin's Child by Siri Patterson. I have been looking forward to reading this book for so long. I think it released at the end of March this year. It's been translated from Norwegian, I think, but there's a lot of Nordic folklore in it. It's about a girl, Heska, I think is how you say her name, and she was born without a tail in a world where everyone else has a tail. Her father butchered the base of her spine to make it look like a wolf took it. Either that or he would have had to cast her out. I've been wanting to read it for so long. I don't even know how I stumbled onto it, but I saw it and needed it immediately. I just need to find time to get around to it immediately. Saving the best for last, we have Nyx, and that is to read the last book in a series or duology. I and a couple of others in Team Nyx are reading The Crooked Kingdom by Leigh Bardugo. I read Six of Crows last year, absolutely loved it, so I'm really looking forward to finally getting around to completing the duology, and I'll be more up to date when the next season of Shadow and Bone comes out. Woo! So those are my books for the 16 prompts. I also have another 6 that I need to fit in somehow for the Babe Book Club. I have something planned for this readathon, which was a kind of off-the-cuff idea, but I thought it was really fun. I'm halfway through getting that done, and I'm very nervous to release it into the ether. Stick around this channel to find out what that is. If you like this content, please give it a thumbs up. If you want to comment, don't know what to say, please leave me a flustered emoji, because that is sure as shit what I'm going to be this month with this massive TBR. If you haven't already and you feel so inclined, please hit that subscribe button and hit the notification so you know when I post a new video. I don't have a schedule, I just post when I post. Sometimes a few times a week, sometimes a few times a month. We don't know. It just really depends on everything that's going on around me. But yeah, that's me. Thank you so much for joining me. As always, be kind, live your truth, and read whatever the hell it is you want to.